Good morning, everyone. Councilmember Nishimoto, can you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Also, Councilmember Nishimoto, would you like to introduce your guest giving the message of Aloha?
Thank you, Chair. Aloha and good morning, everyone. Before we begin today's full council meeting, I wanted to welcome a distinguished spiritual leader from our community to share today's message of Aloha with us. Joining us this morning is Bishop Ren Suru of Shingon-shu, Hawaii, located on Sheridan Street in the heart of my district. Bishop Suru is a respected figure here in Hawaii, not only for his dedication to the Shingon Buddhist tradition, but also as someone who embodies compassion, peace, and the spirit of aloha in every aspect of his life. We are thankful to have him here today. Please join me in welcoming Bishop Suru.
Thank you so much. Aloha mai kako. Chair Waters, esteemed council members, honored guests, and beloved community members. When Scott invited me to do this, I told him that I would keep my my message to 35 minutes. So I know you folks have a very busy schedule today, but it is with deep gratitude that I stand before you all today in this hale, this house of decision and service, to speak on the vibrant importance of diversity and inclusiveness, especially during this start of Gay Pride Month, June, and what it means here in the heart of Hawaii, the spirit of pride, the spirit of aloha. Gay Pride Month is a time of joyful recognition, a time to uplift the voices and lives of our LGBTQIA+ ohana. It is a celebration rooted in resilience, in remembrance, and most of all, in love. But here in Hawaii, pride is not something foreign or new. It is interwoven into our island's heritage. We have always embraced diversity and inclusiveness as a gesture of aloha. In Hawaii, we don't just accept diversity, we thrive in it. We celebrate it, we live in it every day. It is in our food, our languages, our faces, our worship, and yes, in our love. You only need to look around this room. You, the members of this council, reflect the rainbow that is our city. We have ancestry from all over the world, from all backgrounds gathered under this one roof. We have members who speak Ilocano, Hawaiian, Tagalog, Japanese, English, and Pidgin, sometimes all in one conversation. Is that not the very essence of pride, of being proud of who we are as a people and as a person? To be many things, boldly, beautifully, and without apology. So today, during this important month, let us celebrate the LGBTQIA+ community. But let us also celebrate the spirit of inclusion that lives in the very bones of our Honolulu. Let's celebrate the power of being seen. Let's celebrate love in all its expressions. And let us not stop at celebration. Let pride and aloha move us to action. Let us protect trans youth and all youths who may feel excluded, different, or alone. Let us ensure that kupuna in our community centers feel welcomed regardless of who they love. More importantly, let us ensure that all kupuna are loved, because even ageism is a matter of prejudice. Let us ensure that all voices, queer, straight, not decided, of all faiths, creeds, and ethnicity are not just present, but heard, uplifted and empowered to lead. To my community, our community, and to our elected leaders here, let us stand firm in love. to our LGBTQIA+ community, let me say this from my heart. We all belong here. We are not marginal. We are central. We are not alone. We are this city, this state. Life is precious. Knowledge is important. And love is the greatest law. Let's be proud, not just this month, but every month, every day, proud that we belong to one ohana. Because in Hawaii, we are rich in each other. The city of Honolulu is rich, not just in buildings or the budgets that you'll be discussing soon, but in people, in culture, in color, in identity. Let us remind the world and ourselves that Honolulu stands as a beacon where aloha is not limited by gender, not confined by tradition, race, or creed, but expanded by compassion. Long live the people. Long live all people. Mahalo nui loa, and happy Pride Honolulu, and thank you for allowing me to speak this morning.
Thank you so much. Members, I have some procedural announcements to make. Although remote oral testimony is being permitted, this is a regular meeting and not a remote meeting by interactive conference technology under HRS Section 92-3.7. Therefore, the meeting will continue notwithstanding the loss of audiovisual communication with remote testifiers or loss of the public broadcast of the meeting. Members of the public will be allowed to provide oral testimony on all items on the agenda, either in person, in the council chamber, or remotely. Both English and Hawaiian are official languages of the state of Hawaii, pursuant to Article 15, Section 4 of the state Constitution and Section 1-13 of the Hawaii Revised Statutes. Members of the public may testify in either language. For all testimonies offered in Olelo, Hawaii, additional time as may be necessary will be allowed for the testifier to provide an English translation of their testimony. Before testifying, each person shall state their full name and the agenda item they are testifying on. Each speaker may not have anyone else read their statement and is limited to a 3-minute presentation on public hearing and new business items, and a 1-minute presentation on all other items. Registered in-person testifiers will be called first. When your name is called, please proceed to the podium and begin by stating your name and the items you will be speaking on. When I call for anyone who has not registered to speak in person, please line up to the right of the podium, and when it is your turn, proceed to the podium. Begin by stating your name and the item you will be speaking on. All persons who have registered to testify remotely by video conference or phone will then be called. When your name is called, please monitor your screen and activate your audio feed when prompted. When I call for anyone else standing by remotely, please utilize the Zoom raise hand button to indicate your desire to speak. For those joining us by telephone only, please press *9 to indicate your desire to speak. The following are some friendly reminders and tips. Video conference from a quiet location if possible. If you're also watching the proceeding on Olelo, please mute your television when you are called to testify. When the timer on your screen reaches 0, please conclude your remarks promptly. For those who are joining us by telephone only, I will identify you by the last 3 digits of your phone number. When your number is called, press *6 to unmute yourself when prompted. Written testimonies, including the testifier's address, email address, and phone number, will be available to the public as described on the posted agenda. As a courtesy, please turn off all cell phones for the duration of the meeting. The following items published in the public hearing notice on Friday, May 23rd, 2025, in anticipation of committee action, are not included in today's agenda and will not be considered. Bill 42, relating to taxi cabs, and Bill 43 relating to transient accommodation tax. On page 6, Resolution 25-101, confirming the appointment of Landon Kaneshiro to serve on the Police Commission of the City and County of Honolulu has been canceled and will not be considered. The following items were not posted on the agenda for consideration. On page 11, we have a hand-carried posted FD1, amendments to Bill 11, CD2, relating to electronic amusement devices. On page 14, we have a hand-carried proposed FD1 amendments to Bill 36 CD1 related to fiscal stability, and Bill 21 CD1 related to legislative budget for fiscal year July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2026. On page 15, we have a hand-carried proposed FD1 amendment to Bill 22 CD2 related to the executive operating budget and program for fiscal year July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2026. On page 16, we have a hand-carried proposed FD1 amendment to Bill 23 related to the executive capital budget and program for fiscal year July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2026. Copies are available at the city clerk's office downstairs in room 203. Members, if there are no objections, we will also be taking up Bill 40 from page 18 after Bill 36 on page 14. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Cordero, Councilmember Dos Santos Tam, Councilmember Kiaina,
Here.
Councilmember Nishimoto, Councilmember Okimoto,
Present.
Councilmember Talba, Councilmember Tupola,
Ao.
Councilmember Wire. Here. Chair Waters.
Here.
Mr. Chair, 9 members are present.
Thank you. Floor Leader Cordero, introduction of guests.
Thank you, Chair. Members, we just have members of the administration, but especially appointees for the various boards and commissions. Mahalo.
Thank you. Vice Chair Wire, motion to approve the minutes.
I move that the minutes of the 8th session be approved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Members were in discussion. Seeing none, any objections or reservations? Noting no objections or reservations, the minutes have been approved. Moving to the top of page 4, order of the day. From the Committee on Planning, Infrastructure, and Transportation, Councilmember Cordero.
I move that Committee Report 164 and Resolution 25-111 CD1 as amended be adopted. And this relates to the appointment of John H. Katahira to the Honolulu Authority for Rapid Transportation Board of Directors.
Thank you so much.
Second.
Mr. Keith, oh, thank you. It's been moved and seconded as well as explained. Is Mr. Katahira present? Thank you, sir. Would you like to say a few words?
Did you say, would I like to say a few words? No, because I am an engineer after all. But good morning, everyone. My name is John Katahira. I feel like I'm in a plane right now in the exit row. Basically, I'm willing and able to serve on the HART board. I look forward to working with you folks as the council appointee. I look forward to doing a good job, and most importantly, I look forward to serving the community through a successful project. Happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Members, any questions for the nominee? Councilmember Kiaina.
No questions. I just wanted to make a comment. First of all, thank you for serving. And you and I have had a couple of conversations. And, you know, times are rough nationally, internationally, and here back home. And the only thing I would encourage is that we need less pilikia in the HART board. That's my only counsel to you. And whatever you could do to kokua, to help in having the board take care of things so that you need not have to air disagreements publicly. If things are rough already, why make it rougher? That's all I want to make sure. So thank you for stepping forward, and look forward to you being a vibrant part of the HART board.
Thank you. Any comments?
I just want to say that's 100% my style. It's been my style all 25 years of my career, and I don't expect to change now.
Any further comments, members? See none. Thank you, sir. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have 2 registered testifiers remotely, but they might be in the audience, Mr. O'Keefe and Ms. Kaikina.
I do see Director Kaikina here. Aloha, welcome.
Good morning. For the record, I'm actually testifying on my own personal, not as the Heart CEO, Lori Kahikina, but I stand on my written testimony in support of John Katahira. Thank you.
Thank you. Members, any questions for Director Kaikina? Seeing none. And then there was one other registered testifier, Mr. Clerk.
Yes, sir. We have Michael O'Keefe.
Is Michael O'Keefe here? Oh, there he is. Hello and welcome.
Good morning, Chair, Vice Chair, Council members. Mike O'Keefe, again testifying in my personal capacity, and I'll just rely on my written testimony. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. O'Keefe? Seeing none. Is there anybody else who'd like to testify? Seeing none, members, we're in discussion. I'd just like to add that I had the pleasure of working with the nominee on a sewer project in Aina Haina, in which was somewhat controversial and contentious, and he did such a good job of bringing the community out together in community meetings and working with the Department of Environmental Services, and it was a success. And I'm really happy to have him as our nominee. One more thing I'd like to add, that if you can, to the extent that your schedule allows, to keep us informed of what's going on with the Heart Board, that would be really, really helpful as our nominee.
Absolutely will, 100%. As you know, I tend to over-communicate as a default. So I know you folks are very busy, and I don't want to bother too much of your time, but you folks have my information. So if you have any questions at any time, day or night, just call me, contact me. I'd be happy to communicate with you folks.
Thank you so much. Okay, are there any objections or reservations to the nomination? Seeing none, CR 164 and Resolution 25-111, CD1 has been adopted. Congratulations and thank you, Mr. Katahira. From the Committee on Budget, Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
Thank you, Chair. Let me grab my script real quick. All right. I move that Committee Report 198 and Resolution 25-100 be adopted.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Dos Santos Tam for the explanation.
This confirms the appointment of Robert Cundiff to serve on the Liquor Commission of the City and County of Honolulu.
Thank you so much. Mr. Cundiff, aloha, welcome. Would you like to say a few words?
Good morning, everyone. Chair Waters, distinguished council members. Again, thank you for this opportunity to appear before you this morning. I look forward to serving this body, the administration, the commission, and the public in the role as a liquor commissioner. Thank you for your support and your confidence, and welcome to take any questions.
Thank you. Any questions for the nominee? Seeing none, thank you so much, sir. Mr. Clerk, do we have any other testifiers?
Mr. Chair, that concludes, I believe, unless.
Angela Melody Young, please proceed.
Thank you, Chair. Angela Melody Young, testifying in strong support of the candidate for the Liquor Commission. And so Robert and I chatted a little bit, and he seems to have good ideas. I talked to him about the new ordinance, which helps businesses get more opportunities to connect with the community by allowing sidewalk festivities for restaurants, bars, and nightclubs. Some of my friends own very prominent establishments subject to the rules of the Liquor Commission, and these businesses sustain the nightlife and above and beyond just catering to the hospitality and beverage and food industry. Nightclubs, bars, and restaurants sustain agriculturally grown foods from farm to table, helping and utilizing farm and nutritious foods for the community to consume. Chefs get to boost their food and recipes on a platform, and the establishments hosts musicians and artists and a bunch of students from University of Hawaii and teachers from University of Hawaii, utilizing the stage as a platform at these establishments to sustain creativity and music in the arts industry. And when the businesses and the sidewalks are lively and active, less bad things happen. So I'm really excited to see what kind of ideas Robert has for the Liquor Commission. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, are there any other testifiers?
Mr. Chair, that concludes the testifiers.
Thank you. Members are in discussion. Seeing none, I just want to thank you for your willingness to serve. I got to say, I believe the Police Commission and the Liquor Commission are probably two of the most difficult commissions to serve on. So really appreciate you doing this. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for that, Chair. I also agree, and I look forward to, as I said previously, representing this body and the administration to provide integrity to the public relative to my role as a commissioner. So again, thank you for your support and confidence.
Thank you. Members, any further discussion? Seeing none, any objections or reservations? Noting no objections or reservations, CR 198 and Resolution 25-100 has been adopted. Congratulations, Mr. Kunde.
Thank you, Chair.
Members, turning to the top of page 5 from the Committee on International and Legal Affairs, Councilmember Nishimoto.
I move that Committee Report 214 and Resolution 25-99 be adopted.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Nishimoto for the explanation.
Confirming the appointment of Linda Martel to serve on the Ethics Commission of the City and County of Honolulu.
Thank you. Aloha, Ms. Martel. Thank you so much for being here. Would you like to say a few words?
My name is Linda Martel. I'm a retired per diem family court judge. I appreciate the opportunity to serve the community in this capacity. It's a very important commission, and I look forward to doing my very best. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Members, any questions for the nominee? Seeing none, thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Members, we're in discussion. Councilmember Tupola.
Thank you, Chair. I'm in strong support of Linda Martel's nomination to the Ethics Commission. I think she would also be an outstanding police commissioner if the opportunity arises. She's very, very experienced, and I think her wisdom would serve the city a lot of good. Although I haven't personally worked with Ms. Martel, I've heard from many who know her well, including legal professionals, community members, and my father, who served as a family court judge with her. They are both retired, enjoying public service now, and across the board, the message is clear. Linda Martel is a person of integrity, wisdom, and deep commitment to public service. From her extensive legal background on the Downtown Neighborhood Board, and even earlier in her career in healthcare, she's built a reputation of fairness, sound judgment, and discretion. She's described as somebody who listens carefully, leads thoughtfully, and consistently acts in the best interests of the community. I believe that she will be a strong and principled addition to the Ethics Commission, and I urge my colleagues to confirm her nomination. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Well said. Members, any further discussion? I just want to echo what Councilmember Tupola said. I had an opportunity while I was practicing law to appear before Judge Martel on many, many occasions. And you know, I didn't win every argument that I made, but me and my clients also always felt that we got a fair shot. And that's a testament, as you said, to her fairness, sound judgment, and your willingness to listen. So thank you very much for your willingness to serve, and we're ready to vote. Thank you. Any objections or reservations, members? Seeing none, CR 214 and Resolution 25-99 has been adopted. Congratulations and thank you, Ms. Martel.
Thank you very much. Very kind words.
Moving to the bottom of page 5 from the Committee on Zoning, Councilmember Kia Aina.
I move that Committee Report 225 and Resolution 25-103 CD1 as amended be adopted.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Kia Aina for the explanation.
This resolution confirms the appointment of John Uno to serve on the Building Board of Appeals of the City and County of Honolulu.
Thank you so much. Is Mr. Uno here? No? Okay. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Members, we are in discussion. Councilmember Kia Aina.
I urge my colleagues to support Mr. Uno's nomination. He came before the committee. He did have some omissions in his nomination application, which he has submitted to all of the council members as a follow-up. So greatly appreciate his willingness to serve. He'd be an excellent member on the Building Board of Appeals.
Thank you so much. Any further discussion, members? Seeing none, any objections or reservations? Noting no objections or reservations, CR 225 and Resolution 25-103 CD1 has been adopted. Congratulations and thank you, Mr. Uno. Members, turning to page 6, Resolution 25-101 has been canceled. Moving to page 7, Vice Chair Wire.
I move that the first reading items listed on pages 7 and 8 of the agenda pass first reading.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to Vice Chair Wire for the explanation.
This is Bill 45 relating to transit system, Bill 46 relating to the Honolulu Police Department, and Bill 47 relating to agreement.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, I note we have Dali Iwasa and Eduardo Hernandez signed up to speak on Bill 45. Are either of the testifiers here? Oh, there she is. Aloha, Ms. Iwasa. Thank you for being here. Please proceed.
It's kind of like musical chairs. Anyway, good morning, Chair Waters, council members, Natalie Wassa for the record. Just some comments on Bill 45. So this would change the law with respect to city transit systems, including bike share, bus and rail. And I just wanted to point out that on page 9, paragraph G4, it would disallow someone from using city transit services if their belongings emit a noxious odor. And apparently the bus driver would make that decision. But that is really a subjective thing. And my concern is that if it's left in there without any other parameters, that the city will be sued. You know, we've been sued in the past for the cleaning the sidewalks and things. So just want to put that comment out there. Thank you.
Thank you. Members, any questions for Ms. Iwasa? Seeing none, thank you. Next, we have Eduardo Hernandez from the Hawaii Bicycling League.
Good morning, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the council. Eduardo Hernandez, on behalf of Hawaii Bicycling League. I'd like to stand on my written testimony, but just to add that bike share, at the Hawaii Bicycling League, we believe that a bicycle is a solution to so many challenges that face individuals, families, and communities, and anything that we can do to support bike share moving forward as part of a strong, healthy public transit system is good for our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Members, any questions for Mr. Hernandez? Seeing none, thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any other testifiers?
Yes, Mr. Chair. We also have registered Mr. Roy Kuroda, Mr. Shelby Billionaire, and Chun James remotely.
Okay, on Bill 45, anybody would like to testify on Bill 45? Seeing none. On Bill 46, Bill 45, dealing with the city transit system. Please proceed.
Aloha. Angela Melody Young, testifying on behalf of CARES in strong support of the city's transit system from Kalihi Transit Center to East Kapolei. The system is incredible, and it really helps also with enhancing partnerships with nonprofits. For example, Beaky is a nonprofit company. It provides the goals implemented by the multimodal transit plan, which the city provides the infrastructure and funding for. And so it's a really incredible way to work together to resolve issues and to present solutions. So I think with this bill, it's going to be very necessary to help promote public safety and also the lives of those who travel by transit and the bike.
Thank you. Next on Bill 46, we have Shelby Billionaire, followed by Roy Kuroda.
Aloha mai kako, everyone. Chihu, finally made it back for you guys. Pikachu Shelby Billionaire live for all of you guys on Honolulu TV. People watching home now, so Cedars are watching home. Thank you to our consul for finally coming out to our Waianae neighborhood boarding last night. And once again, I look behind the room. It's me once again, the brown Hawaiian. Chihu. So we're here to talk about HPD and the media. Obviously, Honolulu TV would cross over and constitute as one of these people for this bill because we want the media to happen and to be transparent for everyone. However, Kalei Akana, who got beat up by the cops in her Joe Akana's car in Howe Bush on May 6th last month, is now going to court currently at 1:30 facing a warrant not signed by a judge. When we asked for the FOIA request for the body cams of the footage of her getting the black guys tasers, as you guys heard last month, the cops, HBD, sent us an invoice for $900-something. You have to pay $450 deposit upfront to get footage first before we can do that. So I'm not sure how that ties into the bill, but if that happens to you, your wife, your girlfriend, I'm pretty sure you should get that footage for free for the city council and the public to see as read into the bill. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, we have Roy Kuroda. Mr. Clerk, is Roy Kuroda available? Oh, there he is. Aloha, welcome.
Good morning, Council. Good morning, Chairman. My name is Roy Kuroda, and I work in telecommunications with the Honolulu Police Department. Regarding Bill 46, Proposal for Media Access to HPD Dispatch Radio Communications, we must respectfully oppose due to an important concern. The FBI's Criminal Justice Information System, CJIS, security set strict standards for how criminal justice information, CGI, can be accessed and shared. CGI includes names, personal information such as names, social security, date of birth, juvenile information, and suspect descriptions, and incident details, any of which may surface in dispatch communications. This information is restricted to vetted, trained personnel with a demonstrated need to know. These protections apply whether the audio is live or delayed. Delaying a broadcast is not the same as redacted. If the audio contains CGI, even if delayed, it remains non-compliant under CJIS. We fully support the Council's intent to keep public informed during critical events. However, any approach must remain compliant with CJIS, HIPAA, and existing operational risk framework. Real-time access to dispatch or tactical channels present serious risk. It is not compatible with federal security requirements or operational realities of officers in the field. We remain committed to transparency, but not at the expense of officer investigations, integrity, or the privacy of victims or witnesses. Thank you for your time.
No, thank you, sir. Members, any questions for the testifier? Seeing none, thank you. Is there anybody else who'd like to testify? Oh, Chief Vanek, nice to see you. Welcome.
Hi, aloha, Chair Waters, members of the council. You know, I'd like to echo what Roy said, and we fully agree. Our officers' safety is paramount, but I think we also understand that these are changing times, and the desire to know, the need to know. There's also the safety of the public, and information is different now, yeah? The safety of the public is also important, and as a department, as the leader of the department, we cannot take that for granted. We do understand that, and there's a lot of departments that have been able to figure it out. I think as a department, it behooves us to be able to not take that for granted and also be able to, I don't want to say compromise safety, but be able to do something to be able to figure it out as well. I think gone are the days where we can just rest on our laurels and say, hey, you know what, no, right? So I think we need to at least make a commitment to bring the right people to the table, figure out what we can do. Maybe there's a compromise as far as, okay, can we release radio transmission? Are we able to provide radios? Are we able to maybe do it with a delay, a slight delay? Can we protect our radio system so that it doesn't affect officers? How can we do that? I think we need to sit down and have a real conversation about those things. And I think that's a commitment that we're willing to make at this time. I hear everything, and I think Chief Logan hears everything that Roy is saying and that our officers are saying, but I think we also hear everything that the City Council is saying, that the Commission is saying, that the public is saying, and that's something as a department that we're committed to do. So while, yes, we do want to make sure that we keep our radio system safe, that is paramount. That's our job as a department. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing our job as a department to keep our community safe. And keeping our radio system safe is paramount in keeping the community safe. But we also have a job to keep the community safe, and part of that is being able to allow the media access to our radio because they provide critical information to the public when sometimes we cannot. And we understand that. And part of that is having that open dialogue to see how we can do that.
Appreciate that very much. Members, any questions for Chief Vanek? Councilmember Tupola.
Yeah, I just wanted to say it's good to see you. Yeah, thank you, Assistant Chief, for being here. I do think that there's got to be a middle ground. This has come up multiple times, so I hear you giving a commitment that you're going to help the introducer and the council to find that middle ground, because we need to do more to keep the public informed, and we hear what your concerns are. But thank you for being here. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Any follow-up questions with Chief Vanek? Seeing none. Thank you, sir. Is there anybody else who'd like to testify? Sir, please. This is dealing with requiring the Honolulu Police Department to release certain public information to the media and the public. Please proceed.
Guess it helps if I turn it on. Huh? Right. Aloha, everyone. Good to see you all again. Saw you last month. Here to talk about this issue right here on Bill 46. I agree that this is something that should be going on. My name is Joseph Akana. Sorry, forgot to tell you that. And the reason I'm saying this is we have had an incident where we requested the information that happened in the incident we described last month, and we've basically been blocked from seeing anything, from getting any information pertinent to the case to include the case report itself. All video has been shut down, all information and communications has been shut down, and this is after I had already requested a UIPA. They agreed to preserve the information, but they said, we're not giving you any of that. And that's from the legal team that came out. But that's part of the information that needs to be released. The public needs to see this because this is the stuff that's ongoing and happening repeatedly throughout the community. They need to see what happened. They need to understand what happened. So thank you for that opportunity, but yes, I would agree with this. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? Councilmember Tupola.
Oh, just real quick.
Hi.
Hi.
Long
Aloha,
time no
Joe.
see.
Yeah, I know. If possible, I know that Assistant Chief Vanek is here. If possible, if you could speak with him,
Love to.
I think that'd be a good step forward. And I
Okay.
know that you've gone through other avenues, but he is the right hand to the chief. So
Okay, and that was the gentleman that was just
Yeah,
speaking?
that's Roddy
Okay.
Vanek. So I think you should, maybe if you guys have time to speak
Yep.
outside.
Would love to.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thanks.
Thank you. Members, any follow-up questions for Mr. Akana? Seeing none, thank you. Is there anybody else who'd like to testify on Bill 46? Angela Melody Young.
Aloha, Angela Melody Young, testifying on behalf of CARES. And thank you so much to the chief for his hard work. I really appreciate you. And so I have to wonder, what is the vision of this measure if the mandate seeks to ask HPD to assess imminent harm versus exigent circumstances and then to publish it in the media? Because the responsibility would be upon the chief, which is a very a lot of pressure to have to make the call for these classifications of harm and perceived danger. For example, one person is making decisions to effectuate the purposes of this law with levels of publication: homelessness, endangered child foster homes, child protective services division, sexual predators, narcotics division, who is a dangerous criminal selling crack and where is a drug ring located. One person would have to make all these decisions. And so I think to effectuate the vision of the law, you'd ideally want to get like a team working with it. And I testified for something similar to this to help officers distinguish exigent harm and eminent situations. And the Judiciary Committee asked the AG to define the levels of harm. So when you think about it, an attorney sits in an office and an officer is out in the field. In the training of the police, they are trained to act. They've got a strategy to recognize how to implement the law, but sometimes the law is unenforceable. So I think this law can be
wrap up, please?
Improved. And yet I think NSWs can do updates for emails, so it's a better idea. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Mr. Clerk, I believe we have 2 remote testifiers.
Yes, sir. Ms. Chun James and Ms.
Please
Rojas.
proceed.
Aloha, can you hear me?
Yes, please proceed.
Wonderful. First, I want to send my best wishes to the police chief's retirement. It's not an easy job. It's not an easy job, but thank you for his service to the Honolulu County. And I'm also happy to hear the mindset of Chief Bennett. That is the way to go. There is no compromise when it comes to free press and transparency. There should not be any compromise. We should be working around those democratic values, because if we continue to give in here, there, give in there, and undermine here, undermine there, pretty soon we are going to regret that we did not fight fiercely and protectively to preserve our civil rights and free press and the need to know transparency. So it's very important that the press gets to have that privilege. And also nowadays, social media, so many of the things are so managed and packaged that what is coming from the government may not be exactly the whole story. So yes, please preserve transparency, help free press, and public access. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We have another registered or unregistered testifier, Mr. Clerk.
Yes, sir. Ms. Rojas?
Aloha, Tara Rojas. Yeah, I would like to agree with the previous testifier in upholding transparency, accountability as necessary, in addition to what was mentioned by the chief regarding public safety, upholding and protecting, again, this public safety and the constitutional rights. So as we've seen, the uptick of harmful incidents against community members. So I am in agreement with this bill. So I support this bill. So mahalo.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who'd like to testify on Bill 46?
Mr. Chair, we also have Donald Sakamoto standing by remotely.
Please proceed.
Good morning, Chair Waters, Vice Chair, and all the Councilman. Donald Sakamoto, longtime Kaneohe resident. I support this bill. Being on the neighbor board, I like to know what's going on so I can be aware of what's in the community. Freedom of speech is very important to have comparison to know what's going on in our community, especially if there's a crime going on or anything. So I fully support this bill, and thank you for allowing me to testify.
Thank you, Mr. Sakamoto. Okay, members, we're in discussion. Councilmember Tolba.
Thank you, Chair. In support of Bill 46, with the new incoming leadership, I believe this bill sends a strong message to the chief and HPD that the public would like to see more transparency and communication, especially when there's a timely incident affecting the public. So thank you, in support.
Thank you. Any further discussion, members? Councilmember Okimoto.
Thank you, Chair. I just please note my reservations for Bills 45 and 46.
Thank you. Actually, thank you. We do need to take testimony on Bill 47 as well. I note that Natalie Wassa has signed up to testify, so please proceed.
Thank you, Chair. Natalie Wassa for the record. Just some comments. So this relates to agreements, and Section 1-82B requires notification for certain agreements or submission to council at least 15 days prior to basically the effective date of the agreement. And my concern is that that time frame is too short. You know, in the past, and this is, I understand, a lesser issue, but gift resolutions have been proposed to the council after the fact. And, you know, when people are on vacation, they go away for 2 weeks and something comes up. I'm just really concerned that we could inadvertently void an important contract. So just ask you to discuss that and potentially change the bill in committee. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Ms. Iwasa? Seeing none. Any other testifiers on Bill 47? 47. Seeing none. Now we're in discussion. Thank you for your comments. Councilmember Tolba, reservations on Bill 45 and 46 for Councilmember Okimoto. Any other discussion? Councilmember Kia Aina.
Reservations on Bill 47. I do believe that it warrants a discussion, but reservations.
Thank you. Anyone else, members? Okay, noting the reservations of council members Kia Aina, Okimoto, and Okimoto, the first reading items on page 7 and 8 of the agenda have passed first reading. Moving to page 9, members. Page 9 from the Committee on Budget, Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
Thank you, Chair. I move that Committee Report 197 be adopted and Bill 41 pass second reading.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded.
This relates to permit fees.
Relating to fees. Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Members, we're in discussion. Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero?
Aye.
Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
Aye.
Councilmember Kia Aina?
Aye.
Councilmember Nishimoto? Councilmember Okimoto?
Aye.
Councilmember Talba? Councilmember Tupola? Councilmember Wire?
Aye.
Chair Waters?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there are 8 ayes, 1 member is absent.
Thank you. CR 197 has been adopted and Bill 41 has passed second reading. From the Committee on Zoning, Councilmember Kia Aina.
I move that Committee Report 222 be adopted and Bill 33 CD1 is amended past second reading.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Kia Aina for the explanation.
This bill relates to administrative enforcement, amending the administrative enforcement provisions for violation of the standards and requirements of the land use ordinance.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have 1 registered testifier, Deborah King. I don't know if she's logged on. She might be in person.
Hi. Aloha, Chair Waters. Aloha, Vice Chair Wire, and council members. I've previously submitted written testimony in strong support of this measure, and I stand on that testimony. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who'd like to testify?
Mr. Chair, we have Chun James with her hand raised.
Okay, Chun James, please proceed.
Hey, aloha. I understand the intent, but I'm increasingly becoming really concerned about, you know, just wanting to fine and to enforce and you know, when there are so much things that are going on. You know, for example, I mean, I have literally visited every community in Oahu. And if you go to Kalihi, you know that the housing is so tight that a single family has become a 4-plex or a 5-plex, and people have converted their you know, garage into living space or you know, this and so on. It's everywhere. Wahewa, Waianae, even Kailua, even Kahala. So I'm also very concerned that the city provides a fair, even application of the law. And it seems like it is not happening because we have had people, you know, say that, well, you know, the city came after after me because I, have to change my stairway and I did it without permit because it took years and I still never got my permit yet. But on the other hand, people who have much bigger violations been let go or ignored. So I'm not saying that people shouldn't follow the law or the rules. I think we should all do it for a peaceful and happy community and quality of life. But also more and more, we are beginning to hear, because I'm in real estate and I probably have my nose to the ground than most people. There is now a culture clash where there are new people moving in. They could move into old neighborhood, they bought a house, they tear it down, and then all of a sudden they're looking and they say, well, we're not happy with this neighbor because they are not keeping their house very nice and there are so many easy corners here and it's just really a ghetto and then they complain and then the city DPP has to do something. I'm not saying it's not wrong to expect good and legal things, but I'm saying that Hawaii is in such a state where something has to be worked out, because we can have beautiful subdivisions and have small Hicks homes. So we are not a subdivision of cookie cutter Oahu. We are like all over the place. So I'm just saying that, not to say that we should not regulate and enforce, but if we do it, it should be across the board and it should be an even application of the law. So how is the city going to do that for the whole of Oahu? Mahalo for listening.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any other testifiers?
Mr. Chair, that concludes the testifiers.
Thank you. Members are in discussion. Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero? Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
Aye.
Councilmember Kia Aina?
Aye.
Councilmember Nishimoto? Councilmember Okimoto?
Aye.
Councilmember Talba? Councilmember Tupola?
Aye.
Councilmember Wire?
Excused.
Chair Waters?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there are 8 ayes, 1 member is absent.
Thank you. CR 222 has been adopted. Bill 33, CD1 has passed second reading. Turning to page 10, members, third reading items. From the Committee on International Legal Affairs, Councilmember Nishimoto.
I move that Committee Report 166 be adopted and Bill 13 CD1 pass third reading.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Nishimoto for the explanation.
Relating to real property.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Yes, Mr. Chair, we have registered Ms. Natalie Wassa and Chun James.
Okay, please proceed. Is Natalie Wassa here? No. Thank you. Next, Chun James. Okay, is there anybody else who'd like to testify on Bill 13? Please proceed.
Good morning. My name is Hartley. Testifying on Bill 13. In light of what went down several weeks ago at Eva Beach, as well as Kapolei, I have some concerns about this bill. I also acknowledge gratefully the efforts put forth by Councilmember Tupola and Councilmember Dos Santos Tam to address this issue and offer a potential solution. Still, I maintain the stance that continuing to create new legislation is unavailing without the element of enforcement and when power remains one-sided. Having said that, I support this bill with reservations. Thank you. Mahalo.
Thank you. Members, any questions for the testifier? Seeing none. Ms. Iwasa, Bill 13.
Thank you, Natalie Wassa, for the record. I oppose this. In my written testimony, I put in some information from our Hawaii Constitution that says the right of the people have a right to privacy, and it includes certain things. So I did have a chance to talk to the deputy prosecutor. I understand that there's a certain body of law out there that allows information that is shared with a third party then to be shared further. However, I do not think this is right to allow somebody on the say-so to give a lease to the government. I mean, if there's a problem, have them go get a warrant or have the tenant approve it, but not to just give it to them. And then there's a provision in there to maintain those designations. Whatever designations are, I'm not real clear on. But if that includes keeping a copy of a lease and there's no illegal activity going on, that also should not be done. I just have so many concerns about this. Please change it. The bill also includes a couple of blanks, so I don't know if that's intentional, but I don't think that should be left blank. Thank you.
Thank you. Members, any questions for Ms. Iwasa? Seeing none. Mr. Clerk, do we have any other testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we also have Chun James remotely.
Okay, please proceed.
Okay, sorry, I'm having a little bit communication problems here. You know, across the city, a country actually, so many people are screaming due process, due process. And you know, even due process for illegal, you know, migrant who murders or whatever. So, but due process is so important in our democracy. And the right to privacy, I'm always very afraid when a city, especially in a small little island of Oahu, you know, want to continue to have so many powers. I understand the intent. I honestly understand the intent that there are problem property owners. But may I suggest that the city work with the FBI. They have all the bells and whistles of doing and enforcing a lot of things and resources that maybe the city you know, does not have. But to continue to be a big brother and a bigger brother is very concerning to our democracy. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, any other testifiers in Bill 13?
Mr. Chair, that concludes the testifiers.
Thank you. Members, we're in discussion. Councilmember Tupola.
Thank you so much, Chair. I do want to thank the Game Room Task Force for the work they put in. This bill was written from their recommendation. We worked side by side with the prosecutor's office and, of course, with some of the input from CORE on how to make sure that it was legal. I'm going to give a couple examples of how this has already happened in my community. So we had illegal squatters on a parcel of land that the owner asked numerous times for them to leave. There was a brush fire. It caught on fire. There were people who were injured. Nearby, there were kids who ran away from home that were hiding in those bushes on that property. So what happened? I called HPD and they said, we need some kind of letter because I said the owner can't do it. The owner's old, they're scared to go out there. They don't know what kind of activity is happening, but they would like these people to vacate their land. They've asked them already. So HPD said, can they please write a letter? So they wrote a letter saying, please, can you help me? So they walked out there and they asked them to leave. And guess what? That was the end of it. But there's no formal process for that. So can I please bring everyone to page 2? It says request form. We're suggesting that there be an official request form, the address, the name of the leasee, the copy of the current lease, so that we're not just writing letters asking HPD. There has been no process this whole time. And there are many landlord and owners that have asked their tenants numerous times, please cease the illegal activity. Please, you're not supposed to be on this land. Please stop vandalizing my property. And so on page 3, it says inspection supported by police officer. Police officer authorized to escort the owner and landlord pursuant to a request. Pursuant to a request. They don't just go on there. And to be honest, we've only asked for these letters in very severe circumstances. So I want to assure the council that this process is already legal, but we've never formalized it. And this is seeking to formalize something to help people who really want to do the right thing, but their property is plaguing our community because they're unable to enforce and get illegal squatters and tenants from doing illegal things that are harming our community, burning things, harboring young children. We don't want that. So that's how this bill came about, and I can say with assurance that this will help to give one more tool to HPD so that we can keep our communities safe. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero? Councilmember
Aye.
Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
Aye.
Councilmember Kia Aina?
Aye.
Councilmember Nishimoto? Councilmember Okimoto?
Aye.
Councilmember Tauba? Councilmember Tupola?
Aye.
Councilmember Wire?
Aye.
Chair Waters?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there are 9 ayes.
Thank you. CR 166 has been adopted. Bill 13, CD1 has passed third reading. From the Committee on Budget, Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
Chair, I move that Committee Report 190 be adopted and Bill 18, 2024 CD1 pass third reading.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Dos Santos Tam for the explanation.
This relates to Pound Masters.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Okay, please proceed.
Aloha, Angela Melody Young, testifying on behalf of ROAR, Rescue of Animal Rights, for Bill 18. So in modern times, back in the day, generations ago, animals were laborers for humans, carrying them around in horse carriages and for transportation, producing food for farms for humans to consume. And the way that animals and humans relate to each other have evolved. So instead of very oppressive situations where animals had to do tasks for us, now animals or humans have learned to reciprocate care for animals by helping advancements in veterinary care and building facilities. Animals are mandated to be service animals utilizing the federally legislated law Americans with Disabilities Act, where the animals are individually trained to do work or to perform tasks to benefit the persons with disabilities. And nowadays, the comfort animals within the emotional comfort animals category helps us to process our emotions. So in this generation, we need to really step up with the mandates of the law and reduce barriers for animals, for veterinarian care to be able to live in harmony.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any other testifiers?
That concludes the testifiers.
Thank you. Members are in discussion. Councilmember Tupola.
Yeah, I want to thank Councilmember Dos Santos Tam. I fully support this bill. I'm not too sure about if it's for animals living in harmony, but I can say that it is about livestock that are loose. We are asking the Humane Society, who this is outside of their scope. They do cats, they do dogs, and I think in some instances chickens, but they don't do cattle, they don't do goat. I saw a pig running around in the back of Kapolei Costco. They don't do those guys. So I do think that we need to cut this out of the law and then pursue the steps forward to update the ROH. I thank the introducer. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero?
Aye.
Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
Aye.
Councilmember Kia Aina?
Aye.
Councilmember Nishimoto? Councilmember Okimoto?
Aye.
Councilmember Tauba? Councilmember Tupola?
Aye.
Councilmember Wire?
Aye.
Chair Waters?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there are 9 ayes.
Thank you. CR 190 has been adopted and Bill 18, 2024, CD1 has passed third reading. Moving to the top of page 11. Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
Chair, I move that Committee Report 192 be adopted and Bill 11 CD2 as amended pass third reading.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Dos Santos Tam for the explanation.
This relates to electronic amusement devices.
Thank you. Is there a motion to amend? Councilmember Tupola.
I move to amend Bill 11 CD2 to my hand-carried FD1 OCS 2025-0494.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Tupola for the explanation of the amendment.
In Section 2 of the bill, amends ROH 34C3 by deleting the phrase "in the chief's opinion," amends ROH 34-9A by deleting subdivision 3, amends ROH section 3412B by amending the number of amusement devices from 20 or fewer to 19 or fewer, makes miscellaneous technical and non-substantive amendments to resolve any concerns that were brought forward by CORE. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers on the amendment or on the main
Yes,
bill?
sir. We have 3 registered testifiers. I believe they're all in person.
Okay, I believe we have Deborah Kim, followed by King, followed by Shelby Billionaire. Hello, welcome.
Aloha, Council Chair. Aloha, Vice Chair Wires, and council members. I previously wrote testimony regarding my strong support of monitoring this to gambling and what it has done to my personal life, and so I strongly support this. Thank you.
Thank you. Shelby Billionaire.
Chee-hoo! Thank you guys for coming back here. Pikachu Shelby Bill here live. I am in support of this bill. And luckily my city council member came to my neighborhood board meeting yesterday, because normally I wouldn't have clicked on this bill to testify, because it's like a trap for a guy from Wine or anybody else. Why would you look at this thing in the middle of the night? And when you click electronic gaming device, you think it's about Nintendo, a Game Boy, or some adult toy that you're not supposed to be touching. But you have the bill on there, and it's supposed to be about gambling. We're talking about the casino stuff, how they put in the gambling houses, probably made from Macau. A cell phone's also a gambling device. You can trade Bitcoin. You can do a lot of crazy stuff. So I do support this bill, but you have to make sure of what you're going to do with it after, what happens to all the gambling devices after you steal it or take it back, confiscate it, blah, blah, blah. So I do support this with reservations. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I also have Alan Cardenas Jr. registered to testify.
Hello, Chair, members of the committee. Alan Cardenas Jr. here. I'm in strong support of this bill. I'm from the Nanakuli, the Waianae Coast, and the last 2 years we've been rocked and rattled with this crime. We are working hard to create a safer, more caring community to prevent, deter, and reduce this type of crime, and we need your help and we need your support. So thank you so much for allowing me to testify.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who'd like to testify on this measure? Sir, come forward.
Good morning, Chair, members. Gabe Huntington, Deputy Prosecuting Attorney on behalf of the Department of Prosecuting Attorney. I'm here to support this bill. This came out of the Game Room Task Force, of which I was a member. This bill will allow us to pursue gambling devices as electronic amusement devices and give us another tool to combat the game rooms. The amendments that I had the opportunity to review will not substantially affect our ability to use this as a tool. If you have any questions, I'm available. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for the testifier? Seeing none, thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else who'd like to testify on Bill 11? Please proceed.
Angela Melody Young testifying on behalf of CARES, providing comments. So I think the vision is that you're defining it so that you can take it away. And so if it doesn't meet the definition of what is legal, then you have parameters to take it away, right? The electronically amusing devices. So I just would like to propose the amendment that I proposed in the committee, that there should be a reference to the Johnson Act of 1951, United States Code Chapter 15, 1171-1178, which already defines what is seeked to be defined in this ordinance. And because the federal law has more weight to it. So also all the other state laws will then go by the federal law. So if Hawaii's law is not in alignment with the federal law, then you wouldn't have as much power to take away those electronically amusing devices. Thank you.
Thank you. Members, we are in discussion on the motion to amend. Seeing none, any objections or reservations to the amendment? Noting no objections or reservations, Bill 11, CD2 has been amended to the hand-carried FD1. Any objections or reservations to waiving Council Rule 19G, the 48-hour notice requirement? Seeing no objections or reservations, the 48-hour notice has been waived. Any further discussion now? Councilmember Tupola.
Thank you so much, Chair. I do want to thank Gabe from prosecutors for assisting our office to bring this bill to the end and cross the finish line today. I want to thank the council members for their support and as well the testifiers who have come in person and those testifiers who have testified online. In clarity, Bill 11 is about us having permitting and a way to fine electronic gaming devices. So I'll give an example. Small stores that have gambling devices by the milk in the back. We don't want them to go to federal prison. We're not going to charge them with a felony. We want another tool, and this tool would require that they get a permit to ensure that it's not a gambling device, because many individuals in my community go towards these gambling devices and where they are at. And we do know that this type of behavior actually attracts a lot of crime. And so I need to give credit where credit is due. It was actually given to Councilmember Dos Santos and I by former Major Mike Lambert, who's now over DLE. This is actually a law in Oregon. He brought it forward to us, said this would be a way for us to have minor penalties instead of taking everything to the severe felony route. So I want to thank all of those who have been involved and encourage the council to please pass this through. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Any further discussion, members? Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero, Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
Aye.
Councilmember Kia Aina.
Aye.
Councilmember Nishimoto. Councilmember Okimoto.
Aye.
Councilmember Talba. Councilmember Tupola.
Aye.
Councilmember Wire.
Aye.
Chair Waters.
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there are 9 ayes.
Thank you. CR 192 has been adopted and Bill 11 CD2 FD1 has passed third reading. Moving to the bottom of page 11, Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
Chair, I move that Committee Report 193 be adopted and Bill 12 CD1 pass third reading.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Dos Santos Tam for the explanation.
This is relating to gambling, addressing public nuisances relating to gambling activities throughout the city and county of Honolulu.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers? I believe Shelby Millionaire has signed up. Please proceed.
Aloha mai kako. I feel like I gamble every day coming here on the bus just to see you guys. But sometimes it's worth it to come see you guys to help testify, to save my heart, because it's going to pass through no matter what. It's a good thing that we can talk about this, because people gamble all the time, driving on H1, driving on H3, going in Waikiki, walking Kalihi at night. So I do want to help support this and everyone who's involved with the Dole, city and county, but you're going to need the community to confess. So if you guys could offer a reward, put an amendment for people from your community to tell you where all these gambling places are, they get a percentage of the rewards. I'm pretty sure you could stop this more and get more stuff done. Or we're just going to go to the ocean like the cruise ships, I guess. Thank you very much. Aloha.
Thank you. Next, we have Alan Cardenas Jr.
Aloha, Chair, and members of the committee. I am in strong support of this. I'd like to thank our council members, Tupola and Santos Tam, for putting this together and working alongside with former Major and Narco Vice Commander Mike Lambert. We have serious problems within our community, especially on the west side. We need something like this and we need your support. So thank you again for allowing me to be here. Thank you for supporting this bill. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate your testimony today. Mr. Clerk, do we have any other testifiers? Angela Melody Young.
Aloha, Angela Melody Young, testifying on behalf of CARES. Wishing to comment, I'm neutral. So I think there needs to be specific statutory language to direct specific police task forces for the specific districts that are economically disadvantaged and economically distressed, that have more proliferation of these game rooms than other districts, because it seems like there are more marginalized communities that are experiencing these kinds of crimes. And so at the state, I testified against making gambling legal because their thought process was that if it is legal, then it will resolve the illegal gaming rooms. And this was to help the Department of Hawaiian Homelands, the Hawaiian people who have to suffer from a lot of these economically challenging things that arise in their communities. And so, I like to go to Sin City, Vegas. We should keep gambling where it's at. And I know a lot of people in my generation like to go to Sin City as well. But I'd like to try to keep the communities in Hawaii beautiful and safe. And also, Uncle Mana, he can help testify. He got plenty testimony.
Thank you.
To help with this. You can ask him for help.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do you have any other testifiers?
Mr. Chair, that concludes the testifiers.
Thank you, members. We're in discussion. Councilmember Tupola.
Yes, thank you. This is the last of the 3 game room bills, and I just wanted to thank my colleague because I think Kalihiuka Elementary was one of the best testimonies we had in regards to why this bill is necessary. The students came here some time ago to testify. The principal, Derek Santos, came out here. The game room is across the street from their school. The kids are exposed to this every single day. They actually gave testimony of how many things that they see at a very young age. It's so unfortunate. And so I think this bill specifically was his initiative, but all 3 bills are something that we're trying to do. And I do think that this Kalihi Waianae connection is super strong. We go through a lot of the same issues. And so I'm glad that we're able to work together, as well as Councilmember Nishimoto, who also is plagued with some of this in his district when we passed a few resolutions earlier. But I thank the council for understanding and for supporting us. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Any further discussion, members?
Yep. Chair.
Councilmember Dos Santos Town.
Yeah, Chair, I'd like to echo the comments of my colleague from the Leeward Coast, and there are a lot of similarities. And unfortunately, these are negative similarities. I hope we can work on some of the positive similarities surrounding culture and community and all of that. But these 3 bills have been a long time in the making. Since we started on Bills 57 and 58 back in 2023, and over the course of the formation of the task force and the production of their report, in my district alone, off the top of my head, I mean, there have been dozens of game room raids and closures, and I know that the HPD District 5 and District 1 teams have been working very, very hard on this. As Councilmember Tupola mentioned, the kids from Kalihiuka Elementary School came to testify because they all knew what was happening right across the street from their elementary school. In Kapalama, there was a shooting in an apartment complex 2 Decembers ago in plain view. Kids from Kapalama Elementary School who attend there witnessed that. That's something that no kid should have to watch. In Liliha, there was a shooting on School Street where the gunmen were on the lam for days. In Palama, a shooting a few months ago. And I happened to go to that site the day afterwards, and the blood's still on the ground. We've had so many of these, and it's time that we as a council, we as a city, say enough is enough. It has to be. Enough is enough. So we need to get these bills through. We need to give HPD and the prosecuting attorney's office and departments like DPP and HFD the tools they need to stop the proliferation of game rooms, to stop the drugs and violence and weapons and other things that come along with them in our residential communities. And so I hope that HPD will be able to take these tools, the prosecuting attorney's office take these tools and run with them and really crack down on these people who are just perverting our residential communities. So thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion, members? Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero? Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
Aye.
Councilmember Kia Aina?
Aye.
Councilmember Nishimoto? Councilmember Okimoto?
Aye.
Councilmember Talba? Councilmember Tupola?
Aye.
Councilmember Wire?
Aye.
Chair Waters?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there are 9 ayes.
Thank you. CR 193 has been adopted, and Bill 12, CD1, has passed 3rd reading. Moving to the top of page 12, from the Committee on Zoning, Councilmember Kia Aina.
I move that committee report 224 and resolution 25-88 CD1 as amended be adopted.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Kia Aina for the explanation.
This resolution adopts a revision to the public infrastructure map for the Central Oahu Sustainable Communities Plan area.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. We're in discussion. Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero? Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
Aye.
Councilmember Kia Aina?
Aye.
Councilmember Nishimoto? Councilmember Okimoto?
Aye.
Councilmember Talba? Councilmember Tupola?
Aye.
Councilmember Wire?
Aye.
Chair Waters?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there are 9 ayes.
Thank you. CR 224 and Resolution 25-88 CD1 has been adopted. Moving to the bottom of page 12, Councilmember Kia Aina.
I move that Committee Report 228 and Resolution 25-152, CD1 is amended, be adopted.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Kia Aina for the explanation.
This resolution also adopts a revision to the public infrastructure map for the Central Oahu Sustainable Communities Plan area.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you, members. We're in discussion. Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero?
Aye.
Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
Aye.
Councilmember Kia Aina?
Aye.
Councilmember Nishimoto? Councilmember Okimoto?
Aye.
Councilmember Talba? Councilmember Tupola?
Aye.
Councilmember Wire?
Aye.
Chair Waters?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there are 9 ayes.
Thank you. CR 228 and Resolution 25-152, CD1 has been adopted. Moving to the top of page 13 from the Committee on Budget, Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
Chair, I move that Committee Report 187 be adopted and Bill 26 pass third reading.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Dos Santos Tam for the explanation.
This relates to the Honolulu Authority for Rapid Transportation operating budget for the fiscal year July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2026.
Thank you. I believe we have Shelby Billionaire registered to testify. Not present? Okay. Mr. Clerk, is there anybody else who'd like to testify?
Mr. Chair, that concludes the testifiers.
I believe we have one more person. Please. Proceed.
Aloha Chair, Council members. Mike O'Keefe, I'm the Deputy Executive Director at HART. No questions or anything like that. I just wanted to thank the Council for its support of our budget this cycle. Mahalo.
Thank you. Members, any questions for the testifier? Seeing none, is there anybody else who'd like to testify? Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero?
Aye.
Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
Aye.
Councilmember Kia Aina?
Aye.
Councilmember Nishimoto? Councilmember Okimoto?
Aye.
Councilmember Talba? Councilmember Tupola?
Aye.
Councilmember Wire?
Aye.
Chair Waters?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there are 8 ayes, 1 member is absent.
Thank you. CR 187 has been adopted and Bill 26 has passed third reading. Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
Chair, I move that Committee Report 188 be adopted and Bill 27 pass third reading.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Dos Santos Tam for the explanation.
This relates to the Honolulu Authority for Rapid Transportation capital budget for the fiscal year July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2026.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Yes, sir, we have Chun James registered remotely and Shelby Billionaire.
Okay, let's start with Shelby Billionaire. Not present. Next is Chun James.
Aloha. For the past, 7 years that you guys have been in there, it's always been automatic support for the real, each one of you have voted for the budget. And I totally understand. I mean, every time there's something about the real, the social media just blows up. There's so many questions and so many angst, but there's nothing that the public can do about it. I mean, we don't even have a chance to reassess the whole situation. The outcome for this, the sunken costs, and the real started in 2007 at 2.6 billion, and look where it is now. And we understand that that even with the city charter, the charter mission for the HART is to build. I mean, that's their job. That's legally their job. but I feel like everyone knows that the rail is the white elephant in the room, and the city is now trying to uncover every crook and cranny, trying to raise revenue for call services. And I'm sure that we're going to be smacked with more fees like the stormwater and so on. But really, this is not fiscally sustainable in the long run for ordinary people. And I wish to have this testimony for all the finance bill there, because unless we stop tax and spend and do some assessments here and there, local people who do not have a lot of money are going to get into so much trouble and price out of Hawaii. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do you have any other testifiers?
That concludes the registered testifiers.
Thank you. Members, we're in discussion. Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero?
Aye.
Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
Aye.
Councilmember Kia Aina?
Aye.
Councilmember Nishimoto? Councilmember Okimoto?
Aye.
Councilmember Talba? Councilmember Tupola?
Aye.
Councilmember Wire?
Aye.
Chair Waters?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there are 9 ayes.
Thank you. CR 188 has been adopted and Bill 27 has passed third reading. Moving to page 14. Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
Chair, I move that Committee Report 195 be adopted and Bill 36, CD1 as amended pass third reading.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Dos Santos Tam for the explanation.
This relates to fiscal stability.
Thank you. Is there a motion to amend? Councilmember Wire.
Well, first, if I may ask just a clarifying question. So I have FD hand carried that would adjust to conform to Corporation Council's recommendations on the bill. And then we also have the budget drafts for the operating budget. And so whatever we pass out in terms of this, unless the preference was for folks to rest on having to reconvene and reopen the budget if there's a need, I'll have to defer to the chair on how to proceed, because the FD language that follows CORE's guidance is not incorporated into the hand-carried drafts on any of the budget amendments. And so I don't know if it'd be better to postpone this till later for discussion, and then if it's resolved at budget, it could be deferred, because otherwise we'd be amending to something that's not incorporated into a budget bill. And of course, if folks' preference is to just pass on this measure and wait till we need to reopen budget and go through that process versus having a mechanism to meet the financial needs of the city, I defer to the body. But just want to give that background, because I think there's like some nuance that I don't know what the body's preference is. And I can, I'll defer.
Why don't we do this? Let's take testimony and then open it up for discussion and let other council members weigh in. Okay, I do have on Bill 36. Actually, Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers on Bill 36?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Okay, we're in discussion. I note Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
Actually, Chair, I'll defer to my colleagues and then come back. Thank you.
Okay. Councilmember Kia Aina.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Councilmember Wire, for trying to resolve the concerns. One of the options would be to simply defer the measure and hold it until the next full council, and so that there'd be more ample time. But I leave it to the author of the measure.
Okay, Councilmember Wire.
Yeah, I'm completely open to that. Again, just to re-explain why I'm open to it. So that essentially the bill is adding, an additional reason for the mayor to be able to access the fiscal stability fund, which is a rainy day fund that the city has. And so it's adding an additional criteria, but to have that criteria, we would want to acknowledge it in the budget ordinance. I know there's been disagreement amongst the body about whether we need to have that criteria or just leave fiscal stability how it is, and then if changes occur, we would just need to reopen the budget, and I defer to Chair and Budget Chair on the process for that. But I'm okay deferring it today and just raise that because it would rely on the language in the budget ordinance as well. Yeah.
Okay, any further discussion? You may recall this was on for second reading. There was a number of reservations. Councilmember Tupola amended it. Apparently we got a letter from Corporation Counsel saying that the amendment is inappropriate. So Councilmember Wire amended it again, I think putting it back to the way it was, or at least something close to that. I will defer to the introducer, which is you, Councilmember Wire, to defer or you want to vote? Councilmember Wire, then Councilmember Tupola.
Yeah, I'll defer. Yeah, Councilmember Tupola can chime in. I mean, again, as I said, it's less about my wish on where the bill goes, just procedurally what has to happen, if that makes sense. So, I mean, in that sense, I would defer to Chair unless the body has an opinion. Because, again, purpose was to provide a criteria where we wouldn't have to reopen the budget if funds are needed. But if folks want to bypass that option, it could just be deferred or referred back to budget. But I think the problem would be there wouldn't really be a need to revisit the language unless it's incorporated into the budget ordinance, unless the OCS advises otherwise.
Thank you. And just to explain for the public, the idea was that if federal funding is denied and our departments are short, that we would allow the mayor to access the rainy day fund. And part of the concern, at least that I had, was that there wasn't council oversight. Councilmember Tupola's version actually gave council oversight. And I think Corp Council is saying that we cannot have council oversight. So, Councilmember Tupola.
Thanks so much, Chair. Yeah, thank you to the introducer for entertaining that CD in committee. I think for me, I felt uncomfortable about the underlying bill, so I was trying to put some type of framework that would still give us discretion, of course, transparency for the public. There are some guards built in where the administration can access funds in a certain way, and I didn't feel like we needed to make another avenue for that, and also I didn't feel like it was a good idea for us to not have guardrails, but now knowing that we need to take off the guardrails, I don't think I'm okay with the underlying bills. So I do think that if the introducer is in, whatever direction it goes, I think deferring it would be best until we can figure out the budget bill. But I can say that the underlying bill for me is problematic. But thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Councilmember Dos Santos Town.
Thank you, Chair. I appreciate Councilmember Wire bringing up the distinctions and how this bill is related to the underlying budget, the underlying operating budget that we are going to be considering later on in this agenda. I'll note that there are several different floor drafts that have been floated, each of which deals with how to spend or to what authority the mayor has to spend out of the Fiscal Stability Fund. I'll note that, Chair, in your version in your FD1, it says that in the event the expenditure of monies in the Reserve for Fiscal Stability Fund is deemed necessary by the mayor pursuant to this section, such monies are appropriated in the amounts determined to be necessary by the mayor in the written notice required by the section and may be expended without further authorization by the council. So if we don't pass Bill 36 today, but pass your version of the FD1, the mayor theoretically has fairly broad discretion as to how these monies can be spent. I'll note in my version of the FD1 in proposed section 17, proviso section 17, as well as proposed proviso section 19, I'm proposing that in the event that federal funds be reduced or diminished, BFS has to provide us with reports and has to identify savings within other departments on a quarterly basis. Whether we pass Bill 36 or not, if we don't pass Bill 36 but pass my version of the FD1, the BFS director would still be required to do these reports, and we would have, I think, more information than otherwise we would without Bill 36. And so I think that these discussions are actually really important because we want to know how potential federal cuts would impact the city. We want reports, and we also want to make sure that the administration is doing their part to identify potential savings, to identify potential transfers, and then sending to us to consider rather than just being able to spend out of this fund freely, which I think was the underlying purpose of Bill 36 overall. And so I'll just note that whatever we do on Bill 36, this question is not necessarily going to be resolved until we consider the final operating budget bill because the proviso language in the various FD1s are different.
Thank you, I appreciate that. You know, I'd prefer to have that discussion and or vote on Bill 36 because that'll determine what happens with the budget, right? Whether or not we keep the proviso in or out of the budget, right? We're gonna have to deal with it one way or the other. Yeah. And by the way, my personal druthers is if we are cut federal funding, I don't have a problem opening up the budget and coming back and then have each department and or the mayor come back to the council and say, we want to access this rainy day fund and here's what we plan to do with the money. Councilmember Cordero, followed by Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
First off, I think, Chair, thank you. First off, I think that we need clarity as to how budgets are reopened, the process of that. Because the council doesn't do it until the request comes from the mayor, right? And I know that we can definitely work with the administration to do so or whatever. But yeah, just want to get that clarity.
I appreciate that. And I see Director Kawano here. Perhaps we can bring up Director Kawano to answer a few questions regarding Bill 36 as well as the use of the rainy day fund. Do you want to opine on both?
So Andy Kawano, Director of Budget and Fiscal Services. Good morning, Council Chair and honorable council members. Can you please restate your question?
Yeah, absolutely. We're talking about the administration's access to the rainy day fund in the event that the federal government cuts funding to the city. Do you have an opinion about whether or not we should reopen the budget, how that occurs, whether or not you're willing to do that, and also on Bill 36?
I think the process of reopening the budget or going through the supplemental budget process will take time, right? And if there is such an emergency, so let's say hypothetically, a significant amount of Section 8 funding gets, for subsidy of rental gets reduced, and it would, impact safety and welfare of families, and we have to move right away. I'm not sure if that would, impact how quickly we can react if we had to. Personally, I'm hoping that we never have to use our fiscal stability fund. So in terms of listening to what you all have been saying, at first I thought Bill 36 can be moved independently from the budget bill, but maybe it should move together because of the referencing of the proviso in the budget bill with the provisions in Bill 36. So maybe it should move together, and maybe we should hold 36 until we go through 22.
Okay.
Those are my thoughts.
You did say that you don't, or you really don't like accessing the rainy day fund. Can you say why?
The rainy day fund has never been accessed to my knowledge. I've asked BFS staff if we've ever accessed the funds. We never have. We've been building the fund balance up. The rating agencies look at our commitment to build that fund up and reallocate interest from our investment pool to the fund. It's one of the underpinnings of our strong credit rating. So with regard to the city, we're AA+. And one of the reasons why is because of the fact that we've maintained the fiscal stability fund. We've supported Bill 36 to date because of the situation in Washington, D.C. Had a situation or the uncertainty related to policy in D.C. not come up this year, we probably wouldn't support it.
Thank you. Members, any follow-up questions for the director? Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
So just to clarify, if a supplemental budget ordinance were required, may the council initiate this, or can only the mayor initiate this?
I think that's a core question. I know there are triggers, and yeah, a person has authority to do it. I would think the mayor would initiate it, but I don't know for sure.
Okay. I believe it's the mayor initiates it, and so if we as the council wish to reopen it, we have no power to reopen it on our own, and I think that's the concern that I have. If we wanted to direct these funds in some way, if there is these huge federal cuts and we have a preference for how it goes, right now as it's written, the mayor would have fairly broad authority. That wasn't a question, but that was a statement. So thank you for answering the first part of the question.
Any comment?
That wasn't a question, right?
No.
So I don't have any issue with what Councilmember Dos Santos Tam said. Makes sense. Everything he says makes sense.
Thank you. Councilmember Wire.
Thank you, Chair. And just to come back, because I think everyone kind of has different perspectives on it, and and that's understandable, so I don't know what's going to happen with the underlying bill, but just to confirm, what I'm hearing from you, Director, is that you would do everything you can not to spend this money. Is that a correct statement?
That's correct.
Yeah. And if reopening is contingent on mayor coming to council to try to reopen the budget, I'm just thinking hypothetically, like we know you and this expires at the end of, well, the draft does, would expire at the end of the term, would just, in my mind, give flexibility so federal funds are lost, other situations arise in the community. I'm sure all 9 of us, whatever the issue was, would be reaching out to MD and mayor and saying, hey, we need to do this, we need to address this, we need to do X, Y, and Z. And so that really, I think, was the thinking going into it, was understanding the importance of timing. Like you said, if we lost housing opportunities, funding for housing, I mean, it kind of reminds me of COVID in the sense that we had a need to meet the immediate needs of the community, right? Like driving into town past ALOHA Stadium, like I saw that extremely long line. And I think really that was the goal, was just providing flexibility. But just to kind of end the discussion, like what circumstances would you envision, say, we provide a mechanism for a more concise process to access the funds? Could you just elaborate what kind of situation do you envision this administration, or maybe your recommendation to the administration on when we should access the funds? I mean, loss of federal funding was an example. I mean, could you maybe elaborate on that?
So the original draft that we submitted was tied to the trigger being significant loss of federal funding or reduction of federal funding. Also, there had to be a threat of public safety and so on, right? So somebody's going to have to make that determination. I trust that the mayor can make that determination. And because from my standpoint, I really would prefer not to spend the money. You'll have, you know, I believe controls. And I also believe that the mayor would be responsible and make the right decision. So I'm thinking that if we're going to put this funding mechanism in place to have a backstop, it should be put in place in a manner that won't cause delays if we have to use it, because we will be in discussion with council members. You're going to know if something's happening, right? So yeah.
Appreciate that, Malo. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Any follow-up questions, members? Seeing none. So I just want to follow up. The charter actually allows and it's reflected also in the budget bill. Under certain circumstances, the mayor may access the fiscal stability fund. But what I think Bill 36 does, it adds on another option or another situation that would allow the mayor to access the fiscal stability fund. So honestly, I think we probably should take care of that debate here, because it's in every budget that we have, allowing the mayor to access the fiscal stability fund. It's in every budget, every year, under certain circumstances. We're just changing, or Bill 36 proposes to change what circumstances. So if we pass Bill 36 today, then the mayor can access it. And if we don't pass it, he can't access it for what was described in Bill 36. So it's in the budget, members. So I honestly, if we defer today, the mayor will not be allowed to access this money under the proviso in the budget for if federal funding's cut. Does everybody understand that? So I'll defer again to the body. Do you want to take up Bill 36 or do you want to not? Councilmember Wire.
Thank you, Chair. I'll go ahead and make the motion,
Okay.
and then we can just go from there.
Okay.
If Chair would, okay.
Why don't we, any other discussion before Councilmember Wire makes his motion? Please proceed.
Okay, so I move that Bill 36 CD1 be amended to the hand-carried FD1 designated as OCS 2025-0491.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
It's moved and seconded. Councilmember Wire for the explanation of the amendment.
So it makes the following amendments. In Section 2, deletes the subsection designation in subsections B, C, and D, and in redesignated ROH Section 6-56.23C, previously ROH Section 6-56.283C, and the CD1 replaces the requirement that the notice be consistent with subsection B. The council approve by resolution aggregate expenditures that exceed $500,000. A notice be filed with the city clerk within 24 hours of the date of the expenditure for aggregate expenditures totaling $500,000 or less. A detailed expenditure report to be filed with the city clerk within 7 calendar days of the expenditure, and the authority to expand funds that have not been approved by council resolution expires 90 calendar days after the notice was filed with the city clerk unless extended by resolution. It replaces those, and again, these are to conform the language to the recommendations emailed to everybody, I believe, yesterday by the Department of Corporation Counsel. A detailed line item budget, including personnel, equipment, administrative, and contingency costs, an explanation of alternative funding sources considered and rejected, the anticipated public impact, implementation timeline, and measurable outcomes of the proposed expenditures, and metrics by which the effectiveness of the expenditures will be evaluated, and then makes miscellaneous technical and non-substantive amendments.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers? Angela Melody Young.
Aloha, Angela Melody Young, testifying on behalf of CARES. So as I was saying with the proposed amendment in the committee, was that there should be consideration to activate the funds in case of an emergency prior to the funds being depleted. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other testifiers? Seeing none. Members, any further discussion on the motion to amend? Councilmember Cordero, followed by Councilmember Dos Santos Town.
Thank you, Chair. I do support the bill, but I do want reporting requirements by the city administration as set in certain budgets and other financial requirement resolutions. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Dos Santos Town.
Thank you. Just to ground the conversation again, if we pass Bill 36 on third reading today, it gives the mayor the authority to tap into the fiscal stability fund if there are substantial federal cuts under certain circumstances, right? If we don't pass Bill 36, the mayor would not be able to do so and can only tap into these funds under the existing ways that he can do it. If there's a real, a natural disaster or some other type of emergency that's already there. Again, as Councilmember Cordero alluded to, the difference is in Bill 22, we're going to be considering different drafts with different provisos, some of which have reporting requirements and some of which don't. And my concern is that because the mayor has to submit a supplemental budget to us, we can't open it ourselves. The mayor could theoretically tap into this fund and spend it freely on purposes that he deems necessary if there are federal cuts. And we don't have any way to do anything about that until we pass next year's budget. And that's a big concern for me. And so I'd rather have some degree of some constraints on this, reports from BFS, the mayor and his administration identifying potential savings that can be reallocated and taking care of it that way. And I think that these things do work together and they have to work together, which is a long way of saying I do think it's important that we do pass this bill to allow the mayor to tap into these funds, knowing that there's huge federal funding cuts on the horizon, but there needs to be some constraints. So thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Tupola.
Yeah, the whole CD that I proposed in committee was hoping to do that, because I think having another reason to do it, fine. But having no type of oversight, no. And I think that the provisos in the budget, Bill 22 do that. Like, I'm reading through it right now. We need that. We need the reporting because there can't be an unlimited amount of spending without that oversight. So, I mean, personally, I know it's kind of confusing what's happening, but I need to vote no on the FD and no on the underlying, because I feel like we need to have either what's written in this proviso in the budget, like intact together with what we're saying, so that we understand that whatever we allow to happen is going to have the oversight of the council, because as Budget Chair Dos Santos Tam said, we wouldn't be able to fix anything until the next budget. So those are my concerns. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Any further discussion, members? Seeing none. Okay, we're voting on the amendment now, right? On the amendment. So any objections or reservations on the amendment? Councilmember Cordero.
Chair, are we able to further amend the FD1, hand-carried FD1, I mean?
We do. My understanding is you would make that motion and then we got to get it in writing from Office of Council Services.
Oh, God.
And then we have to come back and lay it on everybody's desk, which we could simply move this to the end of the calendar if you like.
Okay.
But we also have to go through probably scrutiny of Corporation Council. Councilmember Wire.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the point of the discussion, because again, we did the hand carried because of CORE's advice. I think that's why the discussion is just efficient if we know what we need to do. So that's why I'm not necessarily wed to the FD that's hand carried. So really it's what does the body want out of it is my question.
Well, there is a motion on the floor.
To amend.
Right,
yeah.
to amend. Is there a further motion? Councilmember Cordero.
Yes, Chair. I don't have the language specifically, but I will have to get it from the budget provisos to make further amendment recommendations.
So I think the proper motion, if you do want to further amend it, would be a motion to defer to the end of the calendar. If that's the motion, otherwise we proceed with the motion as on the floor with Councilmember Wire.
Okay. Are you okay?
Well, Councilmember Tupola, we used to have the floor, Councilmember Cordero. Do you yield?
Okay, thank you, Chair. I will look for the language as you call other members.
Councilmember Tupola.
I move that we defer to the end of the calendar just for, I think we're actually all saying the same thing. What I'm trying to say is that Councilmember Wire is saying that he was trying to comply or, make peace with whatever CORE said. But when we passed this out of committee, we were trying to all agree that we needed these guardrails. We agreed on that. So that's where I think we're vacillating. So if Councilmember Cordero can come up with language and we can all settle on it, I think we just take the time to do it correctly.
Okay, on the floor, there's a motion to defer. Any objections to the motion to defer? Seeing none, so ordered. I'm just going to put it on at the back of the calendar, yeah? Okay. That is Bill 36. Now, we need to go to Bill 40 on page 18. Bill 40 on page 18. From the Committee on Budget, Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
Chair, I move that Committee Report 196 be adopted and Bill 40 CD2 as amended past third reading.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Dos Santos Tam for the explanation.
Chair, this relates to changes. This relates to fees, charges, and fines.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Members, we're in discussion. Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero?
Aye.
Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
Aye.
Councilmember Kia Aina?
Aye.
Councilmember Nishimoto? Councilmember Okimoto?
No vote.
Councilmember Talba? Councilmember Tupola?
Aye.
Councilmember Wire?
Aye.
Chair Waters?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there are 8 ayes, 1 no.
CR 196 has been adopted and Bill 40 CD2 has passed third reading. Going back to page 14, members, the legislative budget, Bill 21, Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
Chair, I move that Committee Report 183 be adopted and Bill 21 CD1 as amended past third reading.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Dos Santos Tam for the explanation.
Chair, this relates to the legislative budget for the fiscal year July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2026.
Thank you. Is there a motion to amend? Councilmember Wire.
Yes, Chair. I move that Bill 21 CD1 be amended to the hand-carried FD1 designated by OCS 2025-0480.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Wire for the explanation.
The proposed FD1 makes the following amendments to the proposed CD1. Appropriates $30,573,810 for the legislative budget for the fiscal year 2026. Makes substantive changes which are noted in bold text and the amendment list contained within the bill, and makes miscellaneous technical and non-substantive amendments.
Okay, thank you. Basically, we're adding money for the Charter Commission. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Yes, Chair, we do have registered testifiers, both in person and remotely.
Okay, I believe Natalie Wassa, followed by Shelby Billionaire.
Thank you, Chair. Natalie Wassa for the record. You folks may recall that I think it was the second reading that I had asked for your vacant funded position information. That's something that you asked for every city department to do, and you have not done it. The mayor is not going to make any comments about that. You should do that for the public, but you haven't, so I'm really disappointed that it wasn't done. With respect to the FD1, there's an increase of $300,000 in current expenses. Please clarify whether that's for the Charter Commission, and if not, what it's for. And then with respect to the addition of the, I think one more person in the Charter Commission staff, I just want to point out that it's great that there's a website for the Charter Commission, but it needs work. You know, I was looking for a place to sign up for agendas and I couldn't. So I do notice that there was some funding for that in that detailed budget that the testifier put in the written testimony. Really appreciate that, but just ask that there be some improvements in that area. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for the testifier? Seeing none. Next, we have Shelby Billionaire.
Hello, my kako, everyone back. So I want to make this simplified for Bill 21, 22, 23, because all related to your budget. I went over through AI. The first one went through. I submitted it. I'm not sure if you guys actually read the testimony I submit to the council. I know most people on the laptops, people just smile and laugh, or people just on their cell phone, people put on lipstick. So when you look at the $34 million, the budget is $5.14 billion. You also have to do the workers' comp stuff, other stuff, and other bills. So I do support all these three bills coming up next, because no matter what I say, you're going to approve the budget because why would you take money away from your own kitty? Now, when you look over the individual numbers, some stuff does bring red flags. Like one of the numbers for administration is about $4.8 million. Let's call it $5 million for 47 positions. Divide 5 million by 47 to say 50, that's about $105,000 per position. So if that's the average salary, I think I should switch jobs from here and just work for administration to make six-figure salaries. So someone has to go through the fine-tooth comb, and I ran it through AI, your other two budgets, and it broke my AI. So thank you very much. You definitely broke my AI with your budget plan. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, I have Scott Power from the Honolulu Charter Commission.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you for being here.
Okay.
Please proceed.
Yeah, so I'm a member of the Charter Commission and authorized to appear before this body to present the budget that we've requested, $620,500 for the next fiscal year. And just some brief comments, and I'll just answer any questions if you've got them. We increased the budget amount because we felt like we needed to have an additional staff member. And so part of our challenges is that we need to bring on people for just 18 months, right? And so we feel like that we need to bring a little bit higher level of compensation for those individuals. So that being in mind of the relatively short time frame, and then we've sort of front-loaded the media side of with intention of being able to educate the public and getting an earlier start on that this year. So we've added more funds to the beginning to next year's budget, so we'd be poised at the end of the fiscal year to move and be able to educate the public and make this process as transparent as possible. So those are my comments and available for questions.
Thank you, members. Any questions for Mr. Power? Seeing none, thank you, sir. Do we have any other testifiers? Angela Melody Young.
Aloha, Angela Melody Young. On behalf of CARES, in strong support of the legislative budget, and I'd just like to appreciate the hard work of all the legislative staff doing communications with the internal team to create efficiency and effectiveness for things being implemented at the bottom level. It really helps everyone get to comprehensive goals, from answering calls from the public to working with behind the scenes responsibilities of signing up for committee hearings. I do want to support the funding for the legislative budget. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else like to testify? Seeing none. Any objections or reservations
Mr.
to
Chair,
the motion to amend?
We have one person standing by remotely with their hand raised.
Okay, please proceed.
Aloha, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Please proceed.
I'm just having trouble with my transmission here. We understand that this city charter opportunity to improve the workings of the city comes once every 10 years. And so we appreciate those who have been selected and nominated for this function. I think it would be really helpful if we all have a public timeline, or we have a timeline, or when the public can submit their suggestions and when the hard deadlines are, so that it is, and the process, do suggestions from the public have to go through the city council to be adopted? All those nitty-gritty stuff, that will be so helpful, and it will be transparent, and it will also be very public friendly, because I know that there are a lot of people out there who have very good suggestions, and we thank again for the city charter to contribute to this eventful roles. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other testifiers, Mr. Clerk?
Mr. Chair, that concludes the testifiers.
Thank you. Members, we're in discussion. Seeing none, any objections or reservations to the motion to amend? Noting no objections or reservations, Bill 21 CD1 has been amended to the hand-carried FD1. Any objections or reservations to waiving Council Rule 19G, the 48-hour notice? Seeing none, the 48-hour notice has been waived. Now we're on discussion on the FD. Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero?
Aye.
Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
Aye.
Councilmember Kia Aina?
Aye.
Councilmember Nishimoto? Councilmember Okimoto?
Aye.
Councilmember Talba? Councilmember Tupola?
Aye.
Councilmember Wire?
Aye.
Chair Waters?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there are 9 ayes.
Thank you. CR 183 has been adopted and Bill 21 CD1 FD1 has passed third reading. Moving to the top of page 15, Bill 22. It's now 12:10. Members, we just filed FD this morning. So what I'm suggesting is we take a lunch break now. It gives you an opportunity to look it over, and we come back and deal with Bill 22. Any objections to taking the break now? Okay, let's come back at 1:10. We're in recess.